morning, good morning, everyone. Join today. God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Abram Spiritual Lot. I give you a word on today. Excuse me. And the name of the title gonna be Abraham Rescues Lot. So now we coming from when Abraham heard that his kin had been taken captured, and he led for his trained men and also brought back his nephew Lot with his possession. So this is when after when Abraham and Lot had a heated argument. You know, they try to live next door from each other. They both, Abraham already blessed. And God has said anybody that's around you gonna be blessed. So Lot was sticking to Abraham and he got blessed. So Lot had so much stuff. Abraham got so much stuff, so much herb, and herb is animals. So both of them had so many animals and so much possession and trying to live with each other next to each other with all this stuff. They got into a heated argument. And so then Lot went left, Abraham went right. So when Lot went left, he went to Sodom. Sodom is a wicked city that sooner or later, God gonna destroy, and we're gonna talk about that in the next couple of pages. So Lot at a city that is so corrupted, and then he didn't realize he moving into a city where 4 kings coming to try to come against the king that ruled Sodom. So this story gonna come from Genesis chapter 14, 1 through 24. Now Abraham, and Lot had separated. I just said Lot had went left, Abraham went right. So Lot went to Sodom and Gomorrah, not knowing that they're about to have war against so many kings. 4 kings about to come against the king of Sodom. So now Lot just moved. Lot just moved there. And now you got all this chaos going on. He in the middle of all this is going on. He just moved there. He caught up in the middle, of 4 kings, size all the goods of Sodom, and all their food. So the 4 kings came to attack, took all their food, took all their goods, and not only took all their food and goods, but they also took Lot. They also took Lot, carried him off, and carried all his possessions that Lot had. So then one of the men had escaped. One of the men escaped and went to Abraham and told Abraham they took your nephew. So now we see that Lot just moved there, caught up in the middle of war, with 4 kings took goods and food, and it took Lot and all his possessions. So Abraham heard that his relative had been taken captive. So remember, Abraham and Lot just had a heated argument, and when left, they went to separate ways. But we so it doesn't matter when your close ones get into an argument. You're gonna stick together. 9 out of 10 you will. But in this case, we see families stick together. I know me and my brothers, we was like that playing outside. We get into an argument stuff. We come against you all because you're gonna stick together. So it doesn't matter if they had a heated argument and went separated. Abraham loved Lot because Lot's father is Abraham's brother, and his brother passed away. So Abraham feel responsible for Lot. Like that's his little brother. He carry him everywhere he go. Even if they have an argument, they still gonna stick together. So then you got Abraham. Abraham got 318 men. To come with him to try to get his nephew back. So Abraham will defeat those 4 kings. Not only he gonna get Lot back and Lot possession, he also gonna get the women back that took, all the people that he took. Because these 4 kings, they came and just start grabbing everything. But if you got Abraham, he gonna defeat these kings. He not only gonna get his nephew back and his possession, he also gonna get the people back that they also took too. So we see blood is thicker than water. So we see that Abraham had 318 men to help him get Lot back. So during the night, Abraham divided his men to attack them. He divided his men. See, Abraham know what he's doing. He's 75 years old and still not a do walk. He took 75, he took half of the men went that way, half went that way. And so they defeated. So Abraham divided his men, went separate ways to attack. Abraham recovered, he defeated. Abraham recovered all the goods, brought back Lot and his possession, and together with the women and all the people that these kings had took. Abraham recovered Lot into possession along with women and other people. So Abraham returned from defeating the kings who captured Lot. The kings of Sodom came out to meet Abraham in the valley. Now this king here, he had a long name I cannot pronounce, but he was very fond of Abraham. You saw how Abraham had all these men, very in order. Y'all go this way and go that way. He defeated these kings, and he not only brought Lot back, he brought all the people back. He brought the goods. He brought the food. Everything these people had took, Abraham got it right back and give it to the king of Sodom. So now this king here in Sodom, he very oppressed. He amazed that Abraham did all this stuff. So he give Abraham some bread and wine. So Abraham eating bread and wine like one of the kings there. So this king was a priest. A priest of God Most High. Wanted to bless Abraham. So he wanted to bless Abraham by God Most High, creator of heaven and earth. And praise be to God Most High, who deliver your enemies into your hands. We see that Abraham being treated very good, very well as a king. He eating bread and wine. He being blessed from the king. So Abraham give him a 10% of everything. Remember he a priest. All God priests that was with the Israelite. They had to give everything to the priest. At the 10%. That's how they got paid. Getting 10%. Because God blessed the Israelite. And the Israelite had to give them, the priest, 10%. So Abraham gave him 10% of everything. And now Abraham give him everything. See, all the goods and everything they had took, Abraham gave back to the king. So the priest of God Most High, the king of Sodom, said, Abraham, he said, give me your people, your men. Give me your men that you use to defeat those kings. He said, you can have all the goods, all the food. You can have all that. Just give me your men. Because he see how they defeated those kings. And he like, I want your men. You can have all the goods and all the food. Because see, Abraham get all that back to him. He didn't want it. So now we see that this king, this priest, is a priest deal with giving him 10%. So Abraham gave him 10% of everything, So he told Abraham, I don't want your goods. I don't want the food. He said, I want your men. Your men that you use to defeat these kings. You defeated, and give back, everything, that we had lost. So he said, keep your goods. All I want is your men. So Abraham swore an oath. He made an oath to God. That he would accept nothing belonging to you. Not even a thread or the scrap of a sandal. So excuse me. I gotta go for 2 today. That's why I told you come early. You're not taking 3 hours to get to work. Look at that lesson again. I'm talking about. That's a call. I did tell you a call. I mean, the selections on the side is SUV type. Oh, a call. Oh, okay. Yeah, SUV. You gotta go to work early too? Yeah. I'm trying to hurry up through the video. I'm about to get ready in a little bit. Thank you, son. Excuse me, y'all. That was my son. That was my son, always get disturbance, So what we was at when the king wanted to get Abraham, told Abraham, you keep the goods. Just give me your man. Your man is defeat all these kings and brought everything back. So Abraham, he made an oath to God that he will not receive anything from nobody. So remember the king say you'll keep the goods, but give me your man. But Abraham made an oath to God not to accept nothing. So Abraham said he will accept nothing but what his men have eaten, you know, in a sense, in a share that belongs to the man who went with him. Let them have their share. Now they fed his men food and stuff like that. So he said, you spared what you had give to my men to eat. He said, no, you keep your goods. I'm gonna keep my men, because he said he didn't want nobody to say he helped made him rich. Abraham already rich, so he didn't want him to make a statement that he didn't get Abraham this, and that's why he got so much. So he made an oath to God that he will not accept anything from nobody but keep his own riches and always help other people. He wants to be a giver, not a taker. So one, we see that Lot moved to Sodom, you're not knowing that war was about to occur. 4 kings came against the king in Sodom and took all their goods and food, and not only that, they carried out Lot and all his possessions. Now before Lot moved, and him and Abraham was in a heated argument, but what they had to all separate, but we see blood is thicker than water. When Abraham heard that someone had took his nephew, he didn't waste no time. He hurried up and got his 318 men, and he went and rescued his nephew and also rescued everything else that these kings had took. So blood is thicker than water. So Abraham had took his man, and he rescued his nephew. So Abraham rescued Lot and all his possessions. Not only he rescued Lot, but he rescued the women, all the people, all the goods, and all the food. He rescued everything and give it to them kings. And Abraham being rewarded with bread and wine. And we also see that the king of Sodom wanted Abraham to keep the goods in the food. And he said, just give me your man. But Abraham said, no, I will not accept your goods and your food. You can keep it, because Abraham get all that back to him. Abraham didn't want nobody to say that he helped made him richer than what he already are. So we see that Abraham made an oath with God not to accept anything from no one. Abraham also said, don't want help. He don't want no one to say that he helped made him rich. Now we see that Abraham loved Lot, which is Abraham's brother's son. Abraham feel responsible, for Lot, and he will always look after him. Abraham mentored Lot. Lot learned a whole lot from Abraham, because Abraham is a righteous man. And every time Lot get in trouble, he gonna always go to Lot rescue. Even he living in Sodom. That's a wicked city. And down the line, God gonna want to destroy that city because there's so much wickedness. And they're caught up just staying in there, in that city. So Abraham gonna pray to God on his behalf to save him. Because long as Lot is in there and nobody pray for him and God destroy that city, he was gonna get destroyed also. So we're gonna talk about that in a couple of packages too later on. So later on, Abraham will pray on the behalf of Lot. Abraham will always be there for Lot, even in heated argument. He hears something about his nephew, because one of the men escaped, and it told Abraham, well, they took your nephew Lot. He didn't waste no time. He asked no question. He just went got his man, and he went rescue his nephew Lot. So Lot was captured, but Abraham rescued Lot. That was the name of the package. Abraham rescued Lot. So he did rescue Lot. And they come from being in a heated argument in the last passage, and they had to separate. So I mean, the land is so big. That's still Canada, but that's still way far in the another part of Canada. Because they had to separate. They both had so much stuff. So that's the that's all I have for you on this word. The name of the package was Abraham Rescue Lot. And then before then they had a heated argument where they had to separate. And you had some mean kings. Both kings came to come against the king of Cape Sodom. And Lot did not know he was moving to a city that was so rough. He got caught up in the middle of it. But in the mix of that, he still did not want to move. But Abraham gonna have to pray for him later on. That God gonna destroy that city. Sometimes people get comfortable in a rough situation. And it take a whole lot for them to get out of it. So that's all the word I have for you on today. I see y'all on the next video, and y'all have a nice day.